Ooh, welcome everybody to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Football. Oh man, Sunday has become very. I get up at like 6 a.m. I'm grinding on fantasy lineups. I'm looking at bets. I may have 3 first half parlays already. Woo. Don't worry, I'll give out one of them at the end of the show. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I hung out with the little one from like 5:30 to 6:30. Came in the office and been watching football ever since. So.
Nice. Let's
Is that somber?
go.
I don't know. I'm ready.
Let's go.
I feel like we got winners today, Sean.
We got winners today. Coming off, I hit my lock and my bonus lock for college football, USC and Liberty. Off to a good start there with college football. Now rolling it over to the National Football League. The NFL pregame show. We're answering all your questions, betting, fantasy, whatever it is, your DFS lineup, late inactives, start 'em, sit 'em, whatever you guys want to hit. Get in, get on. We are live on Twitter Spaces at Gambling Podcast if you want to actually talk to us, or just hit us up in the YouTube chat. Throw out your questions, your predicaments. Late inactives, Eagles. Lane Johnson is not a go now. So that is really shitty for the Eagles offensive line, who I don't know if there was some sort of voodoo curse that the Eagles did where now we can just never have a healthy offensive line, but we're in week 4 here. Jason Kelsey is the only starter from week 1. We're already here. We already got a question, Ryan. Chiefs, Bucks, money line parlay. Just too easy, right? What could go wrong?
I was gonna say, Sean, but coming back to your point, you would take the trade. The offensive line problems today for the Super Bowl championship and that great offensive line. You might take that trade still.
Oh yeah.
So there's nothing to be worried about.
Sold our soul to the devil for the 2017 Super Bowl. I get it. Nick Foles had the help from the Dark Lord, and that's what we needed to get the job done. Chiefs Bucks money line parlay.
Oh, sorry. Here we go.
I mean, it seems too good to be true. I guess they're just two, non-conference road teams is the only thing that I could build a case against.
I would say you generally don't want to be teasing those types of situations. It has to scare you a little bit with these lines all dipping beneath 7, kind of daring you to take them. I guess if I'm power ranking them, this Andy Reid coming back, he's once put Sirianni in a locker career wise when he fired him. Now he puts him into another locker on the field. It just seems like such a hard narrative to see the Chiefs continue to suck until you go back in time and you listen to me talk about the hangover, talk about how the hangover might not be cured this year. That would be the one I'd circle. Because Philly has shown up randomly to home spots before where they shouldn't have a chance, but they somehow get willed by the obnoxious energy of their crowd.
Yeah, I guess of those two, I would be more shocked. Less about Kansas City losing 3 in a row, which would be pretty shocking. But Tom Brady getting outwitted by Bill Belichick, that would be very surprising to me. Now, to me, it's less. Everyone talks about Brady and maybe. But to me, it's more just about this Patriots offense. They rely on running the ball, and they have, and we didn't really do any sort of showdown or Sunday night props, but Antonio Brown, hammer on Antonio Brown. That's the revenge game that no one's talking about for this Tampa Bay New England matchup, especially with Gronk. So all the FU throws, all the FU touchdowns that Gronk was probably getting, don't they immediately just go to Antonio Brown? Yes. Don't we need a showdown lineup with Antonio Brown? Yeah, I mean, if there's one person that hates Belichick probably as much as Tom Brady, it's Antonio Brown. It was a shorter relationship, but it's still burned hot. And he seems like a guy who holds a grudge.
It does seem like he would hold an irrational grudge more than most. And if you can find a prop, Antonio Brown is the receiver on the record-breaking catch. I wouldn't mind that. Sean, ESPN pregame, Sal Palantonio reporting from the suite where you're going to get to see Tom Brady come in for the first time through the visitors tunnel. This is ridiculous. Live morning shows at the state. I mean,
pretty funny.
It feels like a little as the league turns. Does it not?
And normally the NFL doesn't get that way, but it definitely has that sort of vibe. All right, we got a question. Tell me why I shouldn't take 18 points today with Houston in the National Football league. Well, you're gonna go broke laying 18 points. I took the Bills. When we picked on the show, it was below the key number of 17. It was at 16 and a half. I think. I mean, certainly the sharp square angle of, oh, this is a lot of points in the NFL, and I'm returning back to my gut handicapping ways. I just think Buffalo is going to just beat the ever living shit out of them.
As I looked through the first half, I
mean, it's Davis Mills' first road start, and I think what's a little different about this Bills team is the defense seems to be on another level. And I had them to win the Super Bowl, so the fact that you're seeing a little bit of the defense is pretty interesting.
I never want to overreact to Josh Allen because I still think he has that look in his eye. It just doesn't feel like this is the week. I would by default take the points. I will say though, as I look through the ideas for my first half parlays, I ended up with no Houston plus 10. So that's where I'm at with that. Like if it happens, it's going to be a lot of energy in the second half to me.
Okay. We got some questions about Lions money line. Will it cash? We got Justin saying it will. Got another guy saying talk me out of it. Here's what I would say. And Kramer and I are both on the Bears.
Yes.
We got it at 2.5. My take on this game is the Detroit Lions are a public dog. We know public dogs have fleas. We know Justin Fields cannot play any worse. Like they were kind of in that game with one fucking passing yard. So expect their offense to be a little bit better. I like the defensive matchup of the Bears. I mean, the Bears can maybe get a little exposed deep on the back end, but their front seven is still pretty strong. And I think they'll be able to handle DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, even Hawk. I like their matchups there. And the Bears are at home. Nagy is coaching for his job.
That's one point.
And it was a dream crusher game off that Ravens loss.
I think you also just Jared Goff under pressure. This pass rush should do something. David Montgomery looks like he'll be a little bit more popular than I expected in the Millie Maker. But again, this is the absolute. They come home, they get right. Don't be fooled by a Detroit team that has only been scrappy at home.
Yeah.
So
that is true. Ryan, is it a DK Metcalf or a Tyler Lockett game? Hopefully for us, Tyler Lockett, and I didn't even realize he was a little banged up. He is on the active.
We were watching the game and it was nasty. We had a moment where, or at least I did. Maybe you weren't participating with me, but I had a moment where I was like, "Fuck, we have him in the ETH league. Could we be cursed because Sean predicted injury on Christian McCaffrey? Could this be the karmic energies of fantasy football coming down on us?"
I didn't want Christian McCaffrey to. Just as an analyst, I owed it to the fans to say he's going to get injured.
So when Lockett came back into the game, that was a good sign. I'll say this: if you're new to gambling or fantasy, the guy who pops up on the injury report late in the week, that's the dangerous one. Unless it's some weird illness like Lamar Jackson, or is flipping to the end zone. DK Metcalf showing up on the injury report late concerns me. I do think this is a Lockett game.
Yeah, and Lockett, he's had monster games the first 2 weeks. Last week I feel like was his down week. Talk me out of Mitch Trubisky last touchdown score at 100-1. That is a Degens only. You could do way worse on NFL Sunday than taking Mitch Trubisky last touchdown score at 100-1
on a day that we could see if things don't go well for the Bears. We can see Matt Nagy fired. That would be some sweet irony. All right, Sean, should we take a call?
Sure, we got a caller.
We got callers. All right, let's bring him on. Friend of the program, Mr. Jong. I'm sure he's coming with some hot DGen action. What are we doing today, Jong? Jong.
What a time to be alive.
There we go.
Yes, great day to be alive. Watch some NFL. What do you got for us, John?
I got one prop. DeAndre Swift over 37.5 receiving yards.
Ooh.
Here is the reasoning. He's already hit that number 3 times already, 100% hit rate. But he's like hammered that over in 2 games. He's had like 65 and 60 yards. Bears defense giving up 187 receiving yards per game. On top of that, DeAndre Swift does have, among running backs, a top 10 snap count. So 37.5 seems low. I am taking the over. Let's effing go.
Appreciate it, John. I like the handicap on it. And Jared Goff checking down on the road outdoors. That certainly sounds like something that could happen. And Jong, shout out to Jong too in the Slack, turned everyone on to Squid Game, a real awesome DGens only show on Netflix. Have you seen it, Ryan?
I have not, but I've enjoyed. I've caught up in the Slack. Yeah, I need to. I don't.
It's
you know,
an
I don't
awesome
watch
show.
TV, Sean. So.
It's an awesome show, and it's basically very gambling based. And I tweeted out Squid Game is a plus EV opportunity. So anyone wanting to get down and play Squid Game, make sure you check that out on Netflix. You're the man, John. Check him out in Slack channel and showing up on the Propcast, Ryan.
I love it.
He's all over the place.
See you, bro.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. We got some Panthers money line talk. I love it. Let's go. Dallas sucks. Jacob Haquin, Ryan plus 450 for AB to catch the record breaking pass.
Really? Why is it plus 450?
It's all, I mean, it's
okay,
too
so
good to be true.
Let's stop the show for a second. Everyone go to their book and get down on that. Yeah. Tom Brady is a petty little fuck.
Clearly, they're going to make a point of getting it to a certain guy. Of all the pass catchers on Tampa Bay, Gronk's not playing. AB is the only guy with any sort of history that he's friends with.
He likes his friends.
And you can't act like they're not going to make this happen.
And the Patriots have said they're going to stop the game when it happens. So
yeah.
Kudos to them.
No, they said they're going to pause to acknowledge the record, but they won't stop the game. Now, what the difference is, I have no idea. CJ's got a question: Saints, Chiefs, or Bucks for Survivor? Already have Bills in my other two.
Wow.
I mean, I would go Saints or Chiefs. I think
really Jameis.
Yeah.
You want to put your okay.
I mean,
I'm just gonna say it right now.
I feel like you
could do worse things with your money than a New York money line parlay today. Just gonna say it. Just gonna say it.
I will be rooting against.
I'll rank the New York parlayed with New York money line parlay ahead of Mitch Trubisky to score the last touchdown.
I would take Mitch Trubisky. I like Saints or Chiefs. I think the whole Brady going back to Belichick narrative, that's the scarier one. Chiefs, I mean, yeah, they'll get the job done. I guess it's like, how cute do you want to get? I feel like this may be a better time to use the Saints and you can save the Chiefs, but what do I know? We got knocked out week 2. So
yeah, what's the survivor pool? All right. No, are we ready for another caller?
Yeah, sure. Fire them up.
All right. Let's bring on another friend of the program, heavy contributor to the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, Terrell Furman.
Oh yeah.
Terrell, I know you like my Giants today, our Giants today, but what are you actually going to give out as a bet?
Oh man, I like the Giants, but
sorry, we didn't have to talk about it.
I just feel like the Giants would be the one to fuck up the Giants Jets parlay just because of how our season is going right now. But
that is a true Giants fan.
Yeah, but okay, so let's do a what do I want to give out today? Should we do a touchdown parlay
yes.
today? I think I'm gonna hit this one.
You've been doing pretty good on some of these same game.
Well, can we just call him a touchdown scoring prop specialist?
Yes, we're gonna that's your official title. TD
right,
specialist. Well, and Ryan and Terrell, quick question before Terrell gives out his bet. I've noticed in the NFL online and listen to sports radio, we've incorporated the phrase "tuddy" or "tud" for touchdown, an abbreviation. I feel like that's new this year, or I'm just picking up on it. What's your take? Tud, tuddy? Is that something we should be allowing?
I mean, I'll let Terrell go first.
Terrell, are you?
So it is tuggy with a G.
Ooh,
it's a tuggy. You got a tuggy. That's how we
really
say it down in this. Yeah, tuggy.
Okay. No, wow. Is it a southern?
So Sean, if I come into the office,
I think it's a southern thing. I think it's a southern thing.
Sean, if I come into the office talking about getting a tuggy, I'm more in the camp of Robert Kraft.
My wife might be curious as what we're doing at the office.
We're just analyzing
talking
tuggies.
about tuggies.
Oh, see, I was going to go a different angle. I think this is all just derivative of the Kanye West influence on society.
All right, Terrell, what do you got for your picks?
All right. Let's do a touchdown parlay. Something for the DGen, something to get the blood rushing. We're gonna start first game on the slate. Washington football team. Logan Thomas the Falcons are giving up one of the highest touchdown percentages to tight ends this season. So Logan Thomas, that's Taylor Heineke's guy. He's going to get a huge target share. And I think everybody's thinking because of this terrible secondary that it's going to Terry McLaurin or a wide receiver. But Logan Thomas is the red zone threat there. Second revenge game. Corey Davis, anytime touchdown,
Yes.
plus 240.
Let's
Absolutely. They're going to. Hey, you would not do bad if you did a Corey Davis touchdown. Jets win for plus 600. That is a good parlay there. And then we're going Jonathan Taylor. That Dolphins front sucks. They give up a whole bunch of rushing yards. I think Taylor is due for a breakout game, so he'll probably get a touchdown in that one. And then Terrace Marshall for the Panthers. This Dallas secondary, Trayvon Diggs is playing well, but everybody else is playing like shit, like we thought. And Robbie Anderson seems to be just fucking on a milk carton. So let's go Terrace Marshall. That's going to pay you out 90-1 for Logan Thomas, Corey Davis, Jonathan Taylor, and Terrace Marshall.
Love it. Love it. Appreciate that, Terrell. Thanks for calling in, man. Let's go,
No
baby.
doubt.
90-1.
See y'all. Let it ride.
Let it ride.
And real quick, cause I need to lean into this because I'm looking at my most Millie Maker lineups of the season this week.
Really?
You know what one of them is? Zach Wilson, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, Tyler Lockett, Corey Davis, Brandon Ayuk, Noah Fant, Chuba Hubbard in the Texans. I went with a jet stack, Sean. I had to do it.
Okay.
Do I swap in Jamison Crowder for a double stack?
I don't know. I've been following that Crowder thing. I get he's playing now. There's
He's
something
professional.
weird.
He's a professional receiver.
There's some weird red flags on that.
His butt's hurt. They told him to take a pay. He's just not happy with the new. Anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Little wonky there. Maybe some other safer plays, but yeah, all risk it, no biscuit, especially in the or no biscuit, all risk it. No, wait. Risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, I guess that has something to do with a tuggy. We got to start using the tuggy.
Tuggy.
That's a real nice tuggy he had there.
No one wants to know, how do we feel about Stafford for DFS? I think pretty strong. Let's see. He's checking in at 7,000. A little high for a quarterback with no rushing upside, but he's been.
I think Stafford
9 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I think Stafford and Cup are going to be so heavily. Well, Cup is going to be heavily owned. I don't know about Stafford, but I think the way you play that game is maybe a little bit contrarian with Henderson.
Yeah, I would say in a cash lineup, Stafford's pretty safe because I think his floor is super high. I think if you're trying to win the Millie Maker, I'd be surprised if Stafford was the guy as far as like massive upside, but that's kind of that take on it. Brandon Nash checking in. Happy Sunday, boys. Keep doing God's work. Let it ride.
Speaking of Brandon's, we got another caller. Brandon
Awesome.
I'm not sure we've had this Brandon on the show before. Brandon, what's happening, man? Brandon Gilden, I think maybe.
Brandon, you there?
We're gonna fire the intern. All right, Brandon, if you come back, just pop back on. We'll let you on. All right, Sean. I mean, it's just like, we're putting people on hold for 85 minutes, and then they're not.
I'll throw out a parlay I just put in: Titans Saints money line parlay. It's like minus 130. So enjoy that one.
I mean, again, Saints.
Yeah,
Jameis laying all those points. All right, Brandon's
it's
back.
money line. Right?
What's up, Brandon?
Brandon, you're live on the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Yes.
Sorry about that. My mic was muted. I've never done this before.
Don't worry. The first time we did Spaces, our mic was muted too.
It's all good.
I
man.
enjoyed listening to you guys. I thought I was listening to the radio. Next thing I know, I'm on. I was like, what?
Nice.
Classic.
What do you got today?
So, maybe it's just me, but I know that this is a big revenge game for Jacoby Brissett, and nobody's talking about it.
You know what? And I was kicking myself because I did make the Dolphins my lock, getting off the lock schneid this week. And in Slack, someone mentioned that the Jacoby Brissett revenge game, and I think I had it on my notes. I thought about it, but I don't think we talked about it on the show. And I love that angle.
he's not going to throw an interception. That Jacoby doesn't do that. So you can already do under half an interception, and then just throw in his passing yards with the over. Parlay that.
Oh, I like it.
I like it. A little same game parlay, Jacoby Brissett, and maybe Ryan. That is the crazy DGens only play, because Jacoby Brissett, who sneakily gets rushing touchdowns, he is only $5,100 at home against this Colts team. Who would you stack? Let's say hypothetically, we're building the last second Billy Maker. Oh, Pittman on the bring back, but who would you stack Jacoby Brissett with? I think Gesicki may get some work. I know the established the run guys have been kind of high on him having a good game.
The double stack is Parker and Gesicki.
Okay,
that would be my angle.
All right, I think I'm gonna work up.
Bring it back with Pittman.
Okay, I'm gonna throw in Devontae Parker.
Well, actually, or Taylor. Honestly, I know it's not. Maybe you just go with a single receiver and bring it back with Taylor. Anyway,
all right, we'll work that lineup out.
Thanks
here.
for the musing, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Go Dolphins.
Yeah, go Fins. Thanks, guys.
Let it ride. Ooh, the Magic Man himself, Magic Man Blanco. Morning, gents. Do I start a banged up Tyler Lockett or Brandon Cooks? Man, that's a tough question. I mean, Kramer and I are starting Lockett. I don't think we have anyone easily that we could swap in. Brandon Cooks is a juicy matchup. I mean, I would say of those two, I would still go Lockett, but I would try and see if you can get Brandon Cooks in your lineup, because I know they're 18-point dogs, but man, if Buffalo gets up early, there's only one guy who's fantasy relevant on the Texans, and it's Brandon Cooks.
It's a bit of a, I mean, honestly, if it's a DFS conversation, Brandon Cooks is a milli maker play. If not, I don't know. Like I don't know if you're playing Brandon Cooks and managed versus a Lockett with the floor difference. Like, no,
I'm just saying I like Brandon Cooks.
So do I.
To do well. So if you can, maybe in your flex or your other spot, you can find a way to get him in there. I would. Joe, and I can't read his last name, pointing out Denver, 7 injured starters. That line in that game has kind of been wonky. It's been all over the place. I took the Broncos. I'm not going to be betting that game just because it's Broncos are 3-0 against the spread. And then you also have Denver at home in September, a spot I love, but it is week 4. But then you have this Ravens team that they kind of match up pretty well against. It should be a really good game. I would probably just bet the under. Justin Tucker could probably hit a 70-yard field goal at elevation for the win. This is, I mean, if you have a strong play on it,
that's how you know you're a badass. When Le'Veon Bell's wearing your jersey, getting on the plane, he was wearing Justin Tucker's jersey. That's so interesting. Like you're on the same team with him, bro.
He's the only kicker that's allowed to shower with the other players.
All right. Coming back to the anytime, or coming back to Brissett real quick. Yeah. As a rushing quarterback specialist, he's certainly a fun way to play first touchdown in this game. He's a fun way.
They used to bring him in back when
that's why it's the revenge spot. He was dubbed a short yardage quarterback. That's all he can do. So now he wants to get one in the end zone against his old squad. Even though, I mean, I'm gonna look it up while we're talking here, but because what do you think his anytime touchdown price is?
Plus 400,
300.
Really? Yeah. I mean,
to put that in perspective, Trevor Lawrence, I think, was about 400.
Yeah.
So they're obviously giving a little bit of the short yardage bump there, but I certainly if you're playing first touchdown in that game, grab him at 20-1. That's fun.
Do we have a John looking for a best Korean barbecue special 3-team money line underdog parlay?
Sometimes I feel bad because it seems like Jung only eats Korean barbecue when he hits these parlays. But to me, I start, and I guess we should look at the current line. But I start with Minnesota.
That one's fun.
It seems like we're still just giving a little bit too much respect. It's down to a pick 'em though now, Sean. So
mine, and I gave out Arizona, Pittsburgh as the norm play. But if you're looking for a third team to throw in there, let's go Seattle. I mean, Russell Wilson versus the 49ers. I know Ryan wanted to go against Mr. Unlimited, but Seattle, Seattle money line, Arizona money line, Pittsburgh money line. That is the DGens only play for me.
I'm just giving Russ a little time for that rash to clear up before I re-engage.
That's fair. He deserves some sort of timeout, but not against the 49ers. Just
honestly, John, I wasn't kidding. New York money line parlay. Let's go. Both at the bottom of their value pit.
Yes, that is quite a pit they're in.
And one full disclosure: Baltimore Ravens were on the circa card with me and Mush, and we backed out with the Lamar injury news. So that one's coming in now. Where it's no longer on the card. Baltimore's coming in. To your point, Denver's not going 4-0 and 4-0 against the spread.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. But
what else can we give out? Should I give out a first half?
Sure, give out your first half. I'm tinkering with this Jacoby Brissett Millie Maker lineup.
Is that what's going on over there?
Right now, I have Jacoby Brissett.
Short bets, please.
I have Michael Pittman. I have Brandon Cooks. I like that play. I have Gesicki. I went with Gesicki with the stack, Ryan. It's just an instinct play.
Get gross with this lineup. Put Beckham in there.
Beckham?
Yeah. Trust me.
Okay. Odell Beckham. Then maybe I should probably put someone else. Then
can you afford Dalvin Cook then?
Yeah, but is Dalvin Cook? What do we think about Dalvin Cook though?
He's in.
Yeah, but don't I go Jefferson because he's in our high stakes league?
Oh, I like that. Yes, go.
So
Jefferson.
That's the mini stack. Okay, so now I got 5,300, or I got 16,000 left. I need 2 running backs and a defense. I got to play Chuba, right?
You like Chuba? Get Chuba in there. David Montgomery too fits under the price point, so get those 2 guys in there.
Chuba. So Chuba Hubbard, David Montgomery. All right. So we're riding with Montgomery.
And then you might be able to stack the Bears defense in there with David Montgomery.
Well, I have $4,300 left for defense. So
put the Bears in. Boom.
Okay.
We got it. Jared.
Well, I have $600.
That's
maybe.
Fine.
No.
What do you want to upgrade?
Well, we got Bears, Justin Jefferson, Gesicki, Cooks, Pittman Jr., Odell Beckham, David Montgomery, Chuba Hubbard, and Jacoby Brissett. I don't know. Let's say if we take out Brandon Cooks, is there anyone? Do we like Calvin Ridley? Do we like Terry McLaurin better? Do we like Adam Thielen? A double stack in that Minnesota game. Do we like those better?
Thielen might be fun.
All right. I'm going to put in Thielen. He always steals some red zone stuff. All right. Jacoby Brissett, Chuba Hubbard, David Montgomery, Odell Beckham Jr., Michael Pittman Jr.
Lots of juniors. I like that.
Yes. The juniors. Let's go, baby. And Adam Thielen, Mike Gesicki, Justin Jefferson, and Bears defense. I do like that Bears the when you tie the running back and the defense together, that's always a fun stack as well. What other questions we got here? Dallas over 13.5 first half. I don't know. That game could get a little wonky. I guess if I had to pick a side, I would take the over there, but I don't know. We'll see. Carolina coming off long rest. Their defenses look pretty good, but certainly haven't played a team like the Cowboys. And now they're JC Horn, their rookie cornerback. He's out. We'll see how they do without that.
I'm less concerned. I think some people have concern over this game getting into the higher scoring. I'm less concerned. To your point, though, I don't know if it happens in the first half. It just strikes me as the kind of game where we're going to see things get a little out of control in the second half. First half parlay.
Scott Ackerman, your favorite Bengals fan here. He's saying all NFC North teams to lose money line plus 408. Who day, Ryan? And the Bengals smashing by our 2-win prediction, already at 3-1, looking like a good start for Scott's Cincinnati Bengals in the jungle. Yeah, of those well, I kind of like Pittsburgh to keep it close, so I'm fine with that. But Denver winning, Green Bay winning, and then wait, who's the other one? Denver, Green Bay, and then who would and then Minnesota.
Yeah.
So Denver, Green Bay, Minnesota money line parlay, that's what he's got at plus 408. That is nice and juicy. Don't mind that. We also got a Finns, Green Bay, and Seahawks parlay. Don't mind that as well. I did pick Pittsburgh and the points. I think TJ Watt being there and Green Bay's offensive line issues is enough to keep this a field goal game.
Deontay Johnson also, like all those targets that Harris got last week, probably going to go over to the guy that Big Ben trusts the most. All right, Sean, ready for the first half parlay?
Let's go.
I'm going to dedicate this one to Urban Meyer.
Oh man.
If you're not up to speed,
know when to come.
for those who pretended like Urban Meyer wasn't going to get intentionally fired to go get the USC job, well, he went and did it. Like the most obviously set up video in the world. Not even a good grind. Who knows where his hands were? Minnesota pick'em. Dolphins -0.5. Bears on the money line -145. When I grab this. Jets +3.5 and Panthers +3. Again, first half, Minnesota Vikings pick 'em. Dolphins -0.5. Bears on the money line. Jets +3.5. Panthers +3. That's going to pay you about 21-1, Sean. Not a bad morning.
Not a bad morning.
By the way, just looking at the Twitter Spaces listenership, it seems people don't love it when you construct your lineup on air. I enjoyed it, but maybe the Twitter community is a little too highbrow for that.
They don't like.
Just people leaving. I don't know. As soon as we started crafting a lineup, people got upset and left. So
pussies.
Yeah, they don't like winning money.
All right, that'll do it. And of course, check back in for our post game show.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Right after Sunday Night Football wraps up, once we get set up, we will be taking your calls, recapping Sunday night, Sunday day, Sunday afternoon, and of course, giving out our Monday night props for the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Does anyone have Urban Meyer first coach fired?
Kramer.